Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. Here on Facebook, here on YouTube, on Michael Datcher's YouTube channel, and then at 4:45 p.m. On Facebook Live. Today, we're talking about a really important topic: seeing the good and productivity. What is the connection between seeing the good and circumstances and situations, and how that impacts your productivity? All right. If you're new to, as you may also be able to tell from the show's title, we're also interested in the ideal of using joy itself as a technology to move us towards our goals and objectives. We encourage everyone on the show to start their own business that they may be able to eventually live in abundance, like a boss, as you may. As I was saying a second ago, just as a reminder, this show is aimed at entrepreneurs, those who have their own business, those who like to own their own business, and those who simply want to live, again, in abundance like a boss. So if that's you, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com, see about us. We offer live one-on-one Productive Through Joy consulting. We also speak to groups, schools, organizations, and schools, and offer a really powerful public program about being productive through joy. You can also go to, of course, michaeldatcher.com, or simply become a subscriber on Michael Datcher's YouTube channel. All right, let's dive into the topic. Again, we're talking today about seeing the good in productivity, and that tie between those particular ideas. If you're also new, let me say a few words about myself first. Again, this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called My People, Bam, and I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americus, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson, where Michael Brown, of course, was murdered. In the book, is a book about identical twin sons, and what happens in a family when there's a problem that we cannot solve. That book will be in bookstores everywhere. February 2018. It's coming out on Third World Press, the iconic Third World Press. So look for that in bookstores everywhere. I'll probably be coming to a town near you in the book tour, so holla at me when you see me. Yes. I also am the former executive director of the World Stage, a literary and jazz venue here in California. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate. My master's is from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature is from the University of California at Riverside. I am currently a professor of English at Loyola Marymount University here in Los Angeles. I'm an expert at being productive, all right? I don't say that to brag, but people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity, given how crazy my own personal narrative is. I am the product of a young girl who was raped at 16, gave birth to me at 17, then subsequently gave me up for adoption to a wonderful single divorcee, yet at the time no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. Yet, as Kool Modi famously said, how you like me now? And if I can be this productive through joy, so can many of us who are watching this show. In fact, that inspires both our business and also this show, because we know what it's like to come from hardship, to come from a difficult situation. When our origins are challenging, at times we have a built-in excuse, and it's a good excuse, as to why we cannot ball, why we should not ball, why we have not balled. But we're here to say, and I'm here to say personally as a representative, not only can you ball, but you will ball, and you do it till you fall. So reach out to us and see how we do what we do. Again, go to productivethroughjoy.com. Look at our services. They're really, really powerful. Also, please become a subscriber on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. All right. In the morning show, we like to also talk a bit about the importance of framing your day before your day has a chance to frame you. As we know, at times we'll wake up with trouble on our mind and think about that throughout our day, go through our day, and then as we go to sleep, we take that trouble with us into our dreamscape, into our REM sleep. And as we know through modern science, when we have trouble in our mind, that creates stress, and stress is a killer. Stress literally takes years off your life. If you're a person of color, if you're a black male, for example, as I am, then you know that on average, black men live over a decade, over 10 years less than their white male counterparts, because walking in life walking while black, eating Skittles while black, literally breathing while black can be dangerous to your health. And it just, the stress of our lives, it eats away at us. So hypertension, also all kind of hypertension, heart disease, etc. It's just really, really challenging. And so we know that's a major part of life, but especially if you're looking to live in abundance like a boss, you're gonna uptick your level of stress because money's gonna be involved. You know, when money gets involved, listen, it's true to a certain degree. To a certain degree, more money, you're gonna have more problems. So that's okay because that's part of the deal. But we do like to address that in a frank, direct way. So we help people deal with their stress in the context of a ritual. Ritual can be defined as doing the same thing at around the same way in a repetitive fashion. Right? It's best seen through example. Let me give you my morning ritual. So in the mornings, I wake up at 3:45 a.m. Early AF, including this morning. That's hella early because I like some sleep, but I get up at 3:45 because I'm endeavoring to live in abundance like a boss. And it's true that early bird does get that worm. That worm is mine. I'm getting it. You should be getting it. Too short to say it. I'm getting that worm. And at times that means doing things that other people really aren't willing to do. And we're not saying that you have to get up at 3:45 to be abundant. I am saying that for me, as an exemplar of this philosophy, that's what I figured out what I have to do in order to get things done in my own schedule. So anyway, I digress. I get up at 3:45. I read a couple of spiritual indoor business books. Then I do our show at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Then at 5, I work on my current book, my current novel, until sunrise, which is around 6 a.m. here in LA. I live along the coast here in Venice Beach, California. Then I just walk out to the beach. I bring my drum. I meditate. I pray. Do yoga. It's the dawn is emerging, so it's really peaceful, very beautiful. It's me, the dolphins, and the seagulls. Right? I come back to the crib here, working my current book for a while longer. Then I go back to the beach to run up the coast all the way past Santa Monica's Pier, all the way back, run all the way back here. To Venice to go to my Gold's gym to get my workout in, get my buff on. So by 9:30, guys, I'm feeling great. My body's being flooded with endorphins, and those endorphins give me a sense of euphoria that I can then leverage to move myself towards my goals and objectives, which will be, of course, involve consulting, real estate, publishing, and public speaking. And so we're not saying do what I do, but we are saying do something. Do you, and do it every day, because it's best, we find, to prepare for the day that is sure to come, especially if you are endeavoring to live in abundance like a boss. It just takes more, guys. So anyway, we help people develop a morning ritual based upon their own schedule, belief system, etc. Right? So today's morning, so as a part of this process, my own morning ritual, I'm reading 2 great books now. I'm reading a book called The Nag Hammadi Library, which is kind of a book of ancient spiritual scriptures, really game changers, guys. Get this book. This book will blow your mind. I'm also reading a new book. I just finished Jen Sincero's book, You Are a Badass at Making Money, which is really funny and crazy. So I just began this book, Own the Moment, by this cat named Carl Lentz. He's from New York. He's a New York minister, basically, who has this book about owning the moment, which is, I'm just getting started in this book, but it's pretty good. But from these 2 books, I extract some wisdom, which I call the morning chant. Today's morning chant is, as a meditating natural mystic, I see the good in all situations because I know the universe is constantly working for my good. Let me say that. That's a good one. Let me say that. I'm talking fast. Let me say that one again. That's a good one. Morning chant. I see the good in all situations. As a meditating natural mystic, I see the good in all situations because I know the universe is constantly working for my good. I like that one. I need that. So I contemplate that idea throughout my day. I place it on my phone. I look at it all the time as I'm walking to a meeting. But I also create the morning and afternoon shows based upon that concept. So today we're talking about seeing the good in productivity. All right. So if you're enjoying the show, if you're seeing the good in the show so far, please swipe left or right across your device. Invite people to join the conversation. Please go to Michael Datcher's YouTube channel. Become a subscriber. Get all these videos as a way to help you help yourself. Let's dive into the topic. And so point 1 is that you have to prepare your eyes to see the good, right? You have to prepare your eyes to see the good. Well, how do you prepare your eyeball? Well, it begins with an inside-out perspective, inside-out process. And so I mentioned a bit about my morning ritual, about getting up and meditating, reading. That's all of my preparation to begin to see the good, right? Because like everyone else, I've got problems, challenges. I mean, listen, I've got a lot of things happening in my life. I mean, good things, but when you're busy and you have things going on, it's responsibility, and it's this pressure, right? Which isn't a bad thing, because pressure turns coal into diamonds. Shine bright like a diamond, right? And it's not bad to have pressure, but it can destabilize you, and it can be bad if you don't make it work for you. So that coal made pressure work for it. It became a diamond, right? I'm like coal. I'm diamondizing. Is that a word? Diamond. I'm about to diamondize on you. Okay, I'm about to diamondize, right? You can diamondize too. So, but listen, pressure is a real thing. So as a part of that, in my own personal practice, I read, I meditate, I do yoga, etc., Pilates. I go all in. Right? Again, we're not saying do what I do, but you want to prepare your vision by doing the internal work, so that when you encounter situations, you can see the good, which goes into point 2. Well, how do you see that? People will oftentimes ask me, well, how do you see the good? I mean, let's keep it real. How do you see the good when something literally bad happens? Okay, and bad is subjective, but right. When something ostensibly bad happens, like, God forbid, someone dies, or there's some tragedy, or you have a challenge at your job, as many of us do, because it's people of color who are black professionals. If you are a person, although this show is for everyone, obviously, but if you're a person of color working in a primarily European American context, because people just have so many misconceptions about black people, for example, when you're excellent in your workplace, it makes people act irrational towards you. That's been my consistent experience. Black people who are excellent make white people feel uncomfortable. That's just my experience being a black professional. You would think they would love us because we're amazing. Woo! So you want to, I just lost my point because I just got so real there because it's so true. And so you want to be able to, I forgot my point 2, so let me segue into let me put a tweak into point 2. And so again, point 1, you have to prepare your sight to see the good. And then you have to, I was addressing, when something ostensibly happens that's not good, how do we see that as good? Well, we see it as good because, as the ancient Buddha story goes, that's too long to explain right now, but at times when we encounter struggle, it brings out of us a skill set that heretofore we didn't know we had, or develops a new skill set in us that allows us in the future to apply it to other problems and challenges. And so through going through a challenge, in order to survive and to thrive, we literally have to bring up something within us that helps us survive that time. And that oftentimes is a new skill set. It's a set of skills that can be replicated, that can be used in other situations. So that's one way that, for example, a not so good thing happening to you can be good. Okay, that's a pretty good explanation of that, which goes into point 3. So as you're going through life and you're going through things, you're facing challenge, for example, and you're growing as a result of going through situations, you are developing these skill sets. So as a result, you're adding to your skill sets. And so you're growing as an individual. And one of the great strategies of life, guys, is to grow and develop. And nothing is more exciting. A few things are more exciting than looking back a year from today and thinking, gosh, in the last year I grew so much. Even when things are challenging, which I've been going through, as I've shared on the show a few times, an extraordinary series of challenges lately. I mean, I could never even imagine. And as a result, I've really grown, though, right? I'm still like this. I'm still doing it, right? And so that's point 3, is that you emerge by seeing the good in the face of challenge, for example, you emerge as more dynamic, you emerge as more powerful, you emerge as a better version of you. And that feels real good, y'all. Boom. There goes the dynamite. That's it for the show. This show airs each weekday morning, hella early, hella AF, early AF, at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Please go to productivethroughjoy.com. Please become a subscriber here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Thanks for everything. We'll see you at 4:45 p.m. And share this on your social media platforms. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.